If you've considered using Google Ads in your business and wondered whether it could be profitable, today's conversation could be quite powerful for you. My guest is David, and he's a Google Ads specialist. For all of the businesses that he helps, he's spending 150,000 smackaroonies each and every single month on the platform. And he claims that he can get a 14-to-1 return. That means you put £1 into Google, he'll get you £14 back on your ad spend. Now, he says that's unusual, but possible. And he's on average getting a 10-to-1 return. Sounds interesting to me. How does he do it? Let's find out. Hello campers, welcome back to Business Broadcast. I mean, this is quite an amazing story.
This is great, isn't it?
Yeah, David Newman, who came on my show when I started the podcast, you weren't even a glint in the milkman's eye when I had this conversation. Well, actually, no, that's not true, because
I set it up for you, didn't I?
Well, you set the podcast up for me, and then you disappeared like a fart in the breeze. And I had to carry on solo in the beginning of COVID. And then just as it was coming out of COVID, David came on the show with a business called AdLab. adlab.co.uk.
He's done some work for you already, hasn't he? He's done some advisory stuff to some of your team.
I can't remember, but he says he has. I mean, I spend a lot of time with the marketing team, and we are, interestingly enough, I think there is some value here for our listeners. I do all my marketing in-house. We've got 7 people that work for us full-time on marketing, whether that's content creation, website design, Facebook ads, Google ads. And what we decided to get a PPC agency. What are you laughing at? That super loud plane?
Yeah, sorry.
Above our head.
There's like a stunt plane just flying a 10 foot above the roof.
It did feel like we was reenacting World War II for a second there. But we're not in the bunker yet. We'll keep going. One of the things that we decided to do was we built our PPC ads to get a 2.5 best of 3 times ROAS. That's return on ad spend. And we're busy. And Dom, who's our sort of head of marketing, is really good at it. And he does all of our ad spends across our nursery, visitor
he does design and websites, all sorts.
He's very smart chappy.
Run ragged.
And he's a lovely man. And we thought, right, well, let's see if we can get an agency to see if they can beat the in-house skill set that we have. And it hasn't really worked out. So we've put it back in-house. But we've decided we would now go to an e-commerce specialist niche ad spend person, which I believe AdLab is.
It is.
So, because, I mean, if you're selling hot tubs or you're selling legal services or any services or, I don't know, contracts, then you'd probably go to a broad spectrum PPC agency, and they probably give you quite good results. But actually, if you want to do really well on ecom, which is the business that we're talking about, which is Party Pieces, which is our online party shop, you can go and check it out at partypieces.co.uk. Works on a Shopify platform, and we've just integrated wholesale into it. It's good business, we're doing well, but we would like that return on ad spend to be 5.
Yeah.
And then I could spend £100,000 a month on it and turn that 100,000 into £500,000, and the budget is unlimited. Even more.
So the other agency couldn't get it to work.
Well, they sort of said, and that's why I was reluctant to say who they were on it, because I wanted to see if they could be. They're really nice people, but they just said, look, Teamu's around, Sheen's around, and there's people competing on price, and we're not a competitor. We're doing good quality gifting products. Something we're doing good. And we're spending between £15,000 and £20,000 a month on Google Ads.
And getting what, 2.5 times back?
And we're getting 40 grand back, 45.
I suppose the challenge in
we're getting at the moment, for the last 30 days, we've got 2.12 times ROAS, which isn't good enough.
No, the challenge with a business like yours is that it's very difficult to do what they call a self-liquidating advert, because the amount you're going to spend is not going to cover the first spend from that client, if that makes sense.
People only do just once or twice a year.
Yeah, so they're going to do, well, they're going to do average 30 quid spend, and if it's probably in that very competitive space, it's probably costing you 30 quid to get a client. So unless you can go, okay, well, we can look at it over a 5-year period, they're going to use us 20 times, then it's going to be difficult. But when you actually want to go, right, did I put £1 in and get £2 out? Yours is a tough game, because it's low
And we are making it more gifty based. We bought another website called Bundles of Joy, which is a baby gifting site. So we're bolting all this.
Oh, okay. Is that
together.
another company?
Yeah.
So you bought another company?
Yeah. But it's only a small one. But we're going to put that on Shopify. So we've got the wholesale arm where most of the money comes from. We've got Party Pieces, which was doing £300,000 a month. And at the moment, we're doing 60,000 to 80,000.
When was it doing 300,000 though?
When things were easier in COVID. But it's always...
Oh, really? Okay, yeah.
It was a business that was doing 4 or 5 million turnover, making £1 million a year.
Yeah.
Pretty much like clockwork.
Yeah.
Everyone knows what happened with Party Pieces and who was involved. I don't think I need to go over that.
Yeah.
And then we bought it and we're turning it around.
Yeah.
And we are turning it around by becoming more of a gifting website. So we're doing balloons in boxes, personalised banners, now doing personalised birthday cards. So becoming our own little moon pig, if you like.
Yeah, yeah.
And I wanted to do the birthday cards because I do believe people buy them every month.
Yeah.
And we would do them as a loss leader to get people to come back to the website and go, oh, they're also doing this and doing that. And then we're growing our arts and crafts part of the business on there as well.
E-commerce sites are great at that upsell, downsell, side sell. Like you go on to get a card, it's like, hey, do you want to do the £2.50 chocolate pack?
Yeah, because we do personalised birthday cakes, personalised donuts, personalised cookies, personalised balloons, personalised teddy bears. All of that's going in there.
Yeah, nice.
And the birthday cards, we don't make any money from them. By the time we paid the postage, person's printed all the personalised stuff, but people are adding them on to their other orders. And what we need to do is get them as the first order and then add on the £40 personalised balloon.
Do you, in the e-com space, do you still adhere to the methodology of the 4 touch points very quickly? You've talked about it before in some of your content about you need to get transacting with people 4 times as quickly as you can. Yeah, yeah. And you give the great example of that's
why the birthday
restaurants.
Cards. Yeah, the birthday cards was my methodology around that because you could say, look, put all your family's birthdays and then
in the calendar we'll remind you. Yeah.
And Moonpig and Thoughtful and Funky Pigeon are doing that very well, but we've got some more strings to our bow. We've got all the party stuff. Yeah, someone's doing a birthday party. We're going to do invitations on there.
Would you also do, talking of wholesale? Would you also go to the likes of Funky Pigeon, Thoughtful, etc., and say we can do personalised consumables that they can't really do?
Well, it needs to be. I don't think we would have the capacity at this stage, but maybe in the future.
Okay.
But if they wanted teddy bears, yeah, absolutely, we would supply them.
Okay. So shall I ask you that question again so we can clip it out? Would you supply them with personalised teddy bears?
Yeah, teddy bears, but not balloons.
Fine.
There we go.
So where did you get to? So you were doing 2.12 yourselves, got to 2.5 with an agency, so really...
Well, they actually got it to 3.74 on one day, then back down to 2 times ROAS. But I think Google AdWords is very difficult unless your average order value is north of £250.
Yes.
And people need to buy from you continually.
Yeah.
So if you've got a wholesale business, I think Google AdWords could be amazing for you.
Yeah.
As long as you can get it to them.
Yeah.
So if you're a food wholesale business, which is a big part of our business, is growing all the time. Rossi Food Services, we're buying a big food services business in London right now. Which will complete. I'm very excited about that. That will turn us into a £15 million food services business.
Really? With that acquisition?
So we will have daily deliveries of ice cream and our bakery products into London and Kent and Hertfordshire. It's going to be very exciting.
Daily deliveries of it? So this becomes like...
Well, daily deliveries in Essex.
You're already doing that?
Yeah, through this branch.
Yeah.
Then we'll have the London branch, which will allow us to have...
Wow.
They're much bigger than us on this. They don't make anything, but we're manufacturers. We bought a big hot dog company a few months ago. So
you bought another company?
What do you mean?
That's another company you bought?
Well, yeah.
I don't think even you even tell everyone on YouTube anymore and you've bothered to buy another company.
Well, they just integrate into... We buy the brands and So
wow.
We was going to call it the hot dog company.
Because
I do like those things, but we're rethinking that at the moment.
Okay.
We're only selling 5 grand's worth of hot dogs a month at the moment. We will hopefully get that to... That's a big... I have big ambitions of growing our hot dog business, supplying...
Is it going to be like the hot ones that come out of the hot tray thing?
Yeah, like you get at cinemas and...
Okay.
So we've integrated all of them into our attractions because they're de-skilled food. And it's very hard.
Yes.
To get someone, fryers and all of that. So
this
dogs.
Is what you said. You're going to get rid of a lot of the skilled food, and you're going to do paninis, hot dogs.
My view is if you're
warm it
not,
up food, not
if you're
cook
not
it.
Doing over £1 million worth of hot food selling in a location, I just don't see how you can make money
per location.
So
have you got any that Marsh Farm must do more than?
Yeah, that will keep hot food at Marsh Farm.
Right.
But to give you an idea, I mean, the average McDonald's 2.4 million turnover per location. That's why they make money.
Right, okay.
And there ain't many restaurants that I think a lot of restaurants are doing sub 600,000 turnover.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't easily imagine that.
And that's why they're not making any dosh. Because they've got to clean all their fryers, clean all the extraction.
And isn't that like 10, 15 grand worth of cleaning per year to get them?
Not that much, but it's thousands.
Yeah.
And there is arguments that, they used to be clean them annually. Now they're biannually. You can have them at quarterly cleans, I reckon, eventually.
Really?
That's what causes a lot of kitchen fires.
Right, okay.
All the grease gets sucked up into them fans and kaboom.
So of the estate that you've got, is it only Marsh Farm where you'll keep hot food?
Lee Valley, the Rossi Parlour.
Okay, so
if there's
sizable,
volume, regular volume. Restaurants are very difficult, and we're doing it at the Blue Boar. But again, we're doing no frying at the Blue Boar. We're using combi. I mean, this is very technical.
But I think people will like this.
Well, basically, if you go into Costa, what Costa, Cafe Nero, Starbucks have done so spectacularly well is they've de-skilled a kitchen.
Yeah.
So people do go in there.
Like even a Subway, for example.
Yeah. A Subway is another example of it.
Yes.
But if we stick to the Costa, Starbucks, Nero example, they are getting volume of customers, very regular customers.
Yeah.
I think most people in the UK would go to a coffee shop at least once a week.
Yeah.
And they will frequent their favourite brand.
Yep.
I mean, Aaron, who is my group MD.
Oh, he's an animal for a
Costa Coffee. I mean,
every day he takes himself in it, doesn't he?
Literally like their PR and marketing.
He doesn't even realise he's a shareholder. No. He's the biggest shareholder, just vicariously through volume of sales.
Yeah. So Warren Buffett's loving, yeah. Because do you know Warren Buffett indirectly is the largest shareholder in Costa?
Is he? Is it Whitbread owned?
No, it used to be owned by Whitbread. Okay. It's owned by Coca-Cola.
Is it?
Which Warren Buffett is one of the largest single shareholders.
And also a consumer of the product.
Yeah.
80 odd years old, the richest guy ever, and drinks 2 cans of Coke a day and has a cheeseburger every day for his lunch.
I'm one of the saddos. And I come back to my original point of the way they operate their business. I go into Costa Coffee, and this is how much I think I'm giving. And I do it just because I'm so impressed by him. So I go, I'll have a latte, please. They go, okay. And then I tap on that with my American Express card, of which he is also the largest single shareholder in American Express.
Oh, is it? Okay.
And I just think, there you go, Warren. And then I go home and I have my Heinz beans on toast. Heinz is another one of the largest companies, a shareholder. And I tapped on my iPhone, of which he owns 6% of Apple. I mean,
Does it? I didn't realise that as well.
6%.
Oh, wow.
Well, Berkshire Hathaway's got 6% shareholding in Apple. It's just quite unbelievable.
We all live in Warren's. It's Warren's world. We just live in it.
Warren's world.
We just live in it.
I mean, I think it's virtually impossible not for people in the Western economies on a daily basis not to give a few cents or pence to Warren Buffett.
You should do a video on that. A day that can you have a normal day without giving any money to Warren?
Anyway.
There you go.
So now back to the business part of
Shad's ain't sold on that.
The Costa side of things. I mean, what they've done is they've managed to do a food establishment where they just use combination ovens or Merry Chefs, which are those things that they put they're like a 10 grand machine. They've got.
Is it an oven? Is it a microwave? Is it both?
It's a microwave oven combi thingamajiggy that makes it taste like it's been in an oven, but at the speed of a microwave. And they're about 10 grand, and they removed the need for a chef, and they last, and you'll see them more and more because they de-skill the kitchen.
Yeah. So is that the food model that you're going down now in most of your places then?
Unless you're doing over £1 million, that's what
about your coffee shops?
Yeah, we don't do any cooking there.
Do you do any that sort of food though? Like panini stuff? Yeah. So do you supply the raw things pre-made and prefabricated, and they just have to literally put them in the machine, whatever that's called?
Si, senor.
Okay. So out of all of your estate of stuff, you only have 3 where you're going to have proper kitchens. and the rest will be. What do you call it? What is that as a kitchen thing? What would it cost to have? Is it?
What's it called? It's a low service kitchen. What do you
mean?
mean?
A low service kitchen. Is that what that's the phrase that it would be?
You're seeing this more and more because people don't want to work in those industries, and the people that do want to work in those industries are, commanding a higher salary, and the profit and loss doesn't align for the higher salary, so you de-skill it. If you're running a kitchen in a cinema, if you're running a cinema, hot dogs, popcorn, nachos, anyone can do. Oh, we're running out of hot dogs. They're already pre-cooked. You store them ambient. They're stored ambient. They're vacuum packed like a tin of baked beans, if you like. And you just, a few seconds and they're ready to go. And you can't do that with chips, can you?
No. Are you excited? Do you get excited about things like the food services business?
I think we've got tremendous potential to turn that into 10 years' time, 100 million turnover.
Really?
Yeah. Because we make all the stuff. I really feel. And do you know where you follow the money? Like you can get some schools and office blocks. It's become a very predictable turnover business. So
in that instance, you've got this whole methodology of build a business to sell, even if you have no intention to do so.
Yeah.
So you buy it. So they've had their sale, right? But from day one of you running that and operating that, are you thinking of the sale? Are you thinking, because in 10 years' time, I want breaks to come and get this?
How do I make Rossi worth more money? The Rossi Ice Cream business is, it needs to be 15 million turnover, 2 million of EBITDA. If I can achieve that, lots of people would want to buy it from me, and it'd be a good business. So I'm working to build the Rossi Group into a 15 million turnover.
And does food services folds into that?
Yeah, but it's a big, are we doing £1.5 million worth of food services outside of ice cream now?
Okay. But the acquisition is going to take you to 15 million?
With the shops, yeah.
So as in next year you'll be at that point?
Yeah.
So that's a saleable asset in a year? Oh, really? Yeah. So if somebody comes to
Shove that in your cheese sandwich.
Yeah. Ambient.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, I have no intention of selling it.
So what? Right. Let me ask you this then. I've turned to Jeremy Paxman. Let me ask you this, and I'll do that weird non-political pointy thing.
You can point at me. I don't mind.
You always say build a business as if you're going to sell it, even though you have no intention to do so. You don't sell anything. So why do you build it to sell? What's your game here, Sinclair? Tell us the truth.
Because I just feel like that discipline helps you build something better.
Oh, fine. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Why are you exercising?
To be an absolute god, so my wife can't resist me. But let me tell you, not working right now.
I mean, you sometimes need the right disciplines, don't you? Like, why write a book? You're not doing it to make money, are you?
No, I suppose not.
But
who taught you this? Who
been doing it for 20 years?
Yeah, but you've not sold anything.
No.
So how do you know that's the right thing to do?
Because everyone that builds successful businesses, they've built them so they're ready to sell.
Yeah, okay. If someone, here you go, here's a random question. Somebody comes in. Yeah. Warren comes in. He's like, I've heard about this James Sinclair. That's how he talks. He likes what you're doing. As a group, what are you doing? 25 million quid a year, something like that? You got 2 and a bit of your EBIT doody-doo-dahs? And he goes, James, I like your style. I want to buy the lot.
Yeah.
50 mil, you walk away today. Someone wants to buy the company for 50 million quid today, but you've got to walk away. And here's the deal. They put you on garden leave until you die. You're not allowed to do anything more with your money.
The answer's no.
Really?
Because boredom is...
You're a strange fish.
Yeah. I mean, if they said, I'll give you 50 million quid and I can stay on the board and help them. And
they don't want your help. He wants you out. You say no.
If I'm then free to go and do something else.
No, you're not. He said no.
No,
he said all you're allowed to do is caravan holidays. That's it.
No, because no point having loads of money with boredom, is there? Ooh, I'd hate to be bored.
Do you fear being bored?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. We've gone on a little divergent.
Should we speak to David Newman?
Yeah, I think that'd be a lovely idea, wouldn't it, after all this time?
Hey gang, James here. Great news. Business Masterclass is coming back to London. This is my ultimate 2-day event that will grow the profitability and size of your business so that you can have a commercially profitable enterprise that works without you in it. I've run this event before. People absolutely love it. We get rave reviews, and I'd love for you to come along. Imagine 400 business owners in a room serious about growing their business. Imagine the connections you can make. I'll be on stage teaching you all the stuff that I've learned over the last 20 years in 2 days to seriously scale your business up. If you want to find out how to buy companies, raise finance, get customers, and make your teams as profitable as possible, then this is the event for you. Look, it comes with my 100% money back guarantee. You come along to this event, and if at the end of day one you go, do you know what? I haven't got 10 times value out of what I've paid for this. I'll just give you your money back. And here's the great news. Tickets are only a few £100. There's no sleazy sales on the day. It's just me delivering all the stuff that I know about growing businesses. And I can't wait to meet you. I'll be there. We'll have a little chat with the other 400 people in the room. It's big enough, but intimate enough to really learn the stuff that I know that scales businesses. Cannot wait to see you at Business Masterclass. Now, every year the tickets go like hotcakes, so make sure you get your ticket now. The tickets are £299 as we're making this video, but they grow in value depending on how late you leave it. So get your tickets now before the price goes up. And I'll see you at Business Masterclass to grow your business.
David, are you there, sir?
Dave the Rave, welcome back to the pod.
Dave
Hello.
the Rave. So you were on the podcast a few years ago, and you had some good results off the back of it. Could you just tell us what you told us?
Everyone gets results off the podcast except us.
Yeah, there you go.
We make no money from it. We're just a charity to help David Newman.
Hi, James and James. Thanks for having me back on the podcast. So everyone who's listening, was a really great experience to be on James's podcast probably about 4 or 5 years ago. And by being on it, I think, we got a fair bit of exposure. We got half a dozen leads, came into the business, these new business inquiries. And we actually also managed to pick up one of our biggest accounts. It started off small. It was sort of a small piece of work, which then very quickly moved into one of our largest accounts. So, thank you, James.
Yeah, and you didn't, and like I said to you in the pre-chat, no check in the post.
You did also ask for a check for 20 grand, though, to be fair. Just a little 20 grand check.
I think a 20 grand check would have been the least you could do after he's got a house in Monaco now as well, and he only travels by helicopter. So
yeah. I thought when he bought his second yacht, that was when he had really taken it too far.
Didn't even get an invite on the yacht. No holiday to Monaco. David, just can you give our listeners, what is AdLab?
Yeah, so basically we specialise in the design and development of e-commerce websites and then helping those businesses to essentially sell more products online or so to generate more leads.
Right, let's stop there because this is what I like when it's niche based. And I don't know if you listen to the pre-chat chat, that's exactly why. If someone is listening to the pod right now and they go, right, yeah, I'm an e-commerce business, I want to sell more. He's not just said, I build websites.
Yeah.
So, basically 50,000 people will listen to this show compounded after a few months.
Yeah.
And he got 6 calls and that's I think the big lesson here for anyone that's in marketing. If you're a niche, you get the calls, don't you?
Yeah.
You get the calls. If you're a broad church, difficult, isn't it? Now, I'm going to just quickly talk about something here, David, and I hope you listen to this. There's, I think I mentioned this with you on the show before about running shoes by Brooks. Heard of Brooks running shoes?
Yes.
They're a specialist running shoe.
That's right, yeah.
Now, they were struggling 20 years ago. CEO comes in and goes, right, we're going to stop being a broad church. We're not good. They were like a Nike, all in sundry.
Yeah.
You play basketball, you play tennis, you go running, you would just want to wear casual denim or casual sportswear. Brooks are your people.
Yeah.
And their sales are going down year on year on year, still in the millions, but going down. They went, we're going to stop all that. And we're just going to be about running.
Yeah.
And then within 3 years, sales went up and up. And they are like in the running space, Brooks are...
Oh, everyone I know who's doing the marathon has gone and had their feet fitted for Brooks.
Yeah.
If they're doing it at a serious level, they're all running Brooks shoes, yeah.
And they just look, we can't compete with Nike.
No,
we can't be a broad church. And David, what that little summary that you just said there about what your business is, I think that serves you well.
Appreciate it. And I agree. It's riches in niches. It's been a niche in a niche.
Yeah.
And it helps. So for us, e-commerce, that's something that we've leaned into now for over 10 years. And then there's certain platforms as well. So we do a lot within Magento. That's kind of what we're known for. If you search kind of Magento agency, typically you'll find AdLab. But we're also platform agnostic. So Shopify is a big platform that we do a lot of work on now. WordPress, WooCommerce as well.
Did you see? I'm quite angelic about Shopify. I want them to bloody sponsor me, but I mean, they must have had 100. I mean, like what you've had off of. I mean, I've made a video about them on my main channel, JB.
I know, I saw it.
I mean, that was like
it's a piece of 13-minute advertorial gold.
But I think for entrepreneurs, I think Shopify is. I mean, I used to use Magento, and I think you probably can do more with it. But for ease,
Shopify is super easy. So, like within a couple of hours, you can set up a store. You can throw some products up there. You can start selling.
I'm going to mention someone else. My new website. If you go to jamessinclair.net, Chuds has just built me a new website. Now, so we was on WordPress before, and it was built by our team. Dom sort of headed it up, and Maddie, and all the marketing team. But we wanted to just do some stuff, and Chud said, "Well, let's just build it on Squarespace." And I couldn't believe, and that is a Squarespace website. It's just, what do you think of Squarespace? I mean, that's not your thing, David.
We don't do it. So what we're known for is building e-commerce websites, but quite large e-commerce websites, and then also connecting those websites into third-party bits of software, so like an ERP system, so that we can have like a seamless transfer of product data, of orders, going back and forth between the system. So we've got some large accounts that we're dealing with. We've got one business, they do 75 million turnover. So we've got a lot of transactions which are occurring on site. And that's kind of what we're known for. Squarespace, it's something I've not even looked. No,
it's just it's a little brochure website, really. I call it a brochure website. It's not an e-com website, but
I'm sure it's come a long way. I'm sure it's quite good to spin up a little brochure site.
I mean, what Chuds has done with it and the ease of it. I mean, it's just, and we don't have to go into our own internal team now. Can you just change that headline?
Yeah.
You know, like
you run all the updates. You have to do on WordPress every 2 weeks.
All of that speed has now happened. Anyway, so we're not here to talk about promoting other people's bloody software. On Party Pieces, because I think it'd be quite good. So we have got Shopify Plus. I think costs us $2,000 a month or $2,500 a month, and we've just integrating all that with this software called Orderwise. I don't know if you've heard of that. It's about $58,000 that's cost us. So actually, last time you spoke to me, David, I was not a man of e-commerce. I was a man selling tickets on the internet for Marsh Farm, Lee Valley. I was an ice cream bloke, probably, and a day nursery and leisure business. But I am, I don't know how this has happened, now a man that is seriously interested in e-commerce.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's good. Orderwise, we've got experience with. So we've worked with a big food wholesaler, which we've connected Orderwise into their site. So that's like typically what we're known for now. We do a lot of ERP integrations with their e-commerce site. So
just for what's ERP for the listeners?
Enterprise Resource Planning. So it's basically a piece of software which would have all your product information, all your trade accounts. It's like a big CRM. You also have all your trade pricing. Once an order occurs, that can happen maybe over the phone, then input it into the ERP. That then go down to fulfillment center. That'd be picked, packed, and sent out. So basically, kind of it does it all for any business which is selling products.
Okay, I'm going to quickly ask you some questions before you asked me.
I should also just state for the watcher and the listener, before this call in the pre-chat chat, James Sinclair has dangled the carrot that he's looking for 4 businesses to come and pitch. So if you think that David sounds like he's on his back foot and he sounds like he's pitching, it's because he subconsciously is.
Yeah, okay, here we go.
Yeah, I mean, so I'll just...
Part of your audience.
We are looking for an e-commerce agency to help our in-house marketing team.
Watch your inbox blow up with people that do
to help us try and grow Party Pieces and possibly our food services business which is growing. So there's 2 projects there, but let's look at Party Pieces. We have got considerable in-house knowledge, but we want someone to say, if you thought about this, but can actually deliver on it. And if they do deliver on it, I will shout about it on my YouTube channel. But one second, so we are going to have a beauty parade of 3 or 4. Now, AdLab with David is going to be one of those 3 or 4. And if he does a good job, I shall tell people about it on YouTube. And if he doesn't, you'll notice I won't say anything. So that's that. But what I want to ask you one quick question, as let's take it that David is an expert in this space. Google Ads. What's your opinion, my love?
Well, we do about 150 grand a month we spend in Google Ads. We're a Google Ads partner. I've got some accounts which are doing really well with Google Shopping, with PMax campaigns. We've got one account which does 14-to-1 return. So we spend...
Right, let's stop here. Just slow down, because I think people will be genuinely interested in that. A 14-to-1 return. I mean, that sounds like cocaine dealing to me. So you put £1 in and you're getting £14 back, yeah? That's in simple terms.
We're putting just over 20 grand in. We're getting 280 back.
Right.
And that's direct sales. Then we've got attribution into other channels.
Just slow down, David.
David, you're talking yourself out of a gig here, mate.
Mate, we're not. The people that listen to this are not as smart. They're me. I want to understand what we're talking about. That 280,000, for clarity for our listener and for myself, is that direct to consumer or B2B?
That's direct to consumer in that business.
Well, I'm amazed by that. What's the average order value?
Average order value is about £64.
See, I think that massively helps. Getting that, because our average order value is about £35 on Party Pieces. And are they coming back again and again? Do they need the service?
Oh, huge.
So there's like they buy from you, but then they could be coming back next month.
Yeah, it's snowballing.
I think that makes a big difference. I think people only come to us twice a year, so that's why we're massively going on the gifting thing, and those people come back to us more. It's interesting.
I think also like looking. So you mentioned about like the return on ad spend from the campaign. Be interesting to have a look at your Google Ads campaign and look at the traction of the product, so actually see what conversions each product has achieved. Because, I mean, I call them kind of like nuggets of gold. There's products which will be within that campaign which are performing really well.
Yeah, that's right.
And you almost want to pull those products out and put them in their own PMax campaign with an unlimited budget. And then there'll be other ones which kind of be a mid-level. There'll be other ones where it's kind of like everything else. If you've got products which aren't performing, you want to even pull them off the feed. But so there's time, and that just takes time, effort, energy of diving into that.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I mean, that's bloody amazing.
You should do a YouTube video of the pictures.
Well, I did think about that, but we're nice people.
Yeah.
I don't. If people don't do well, then yeah. Anyway, sorry. This is what me and JB
I'm live
do.
Producing the channel I've got no involvement in.
Anyway, yeah. So I mean, look. What I don't think that's typical though, and I don't think it'd be right for me to say to listeners that you put £1 into Google and you get £14 back.
That's not typical. No. That's having a really astute business owner behind that who knows that industry, sees products which are performing, then basically takes full ownership of those products from that manufacturer, exclusivity rights, and all of that. Typically, we've got multiple other accounts which are doing 10-to-1 return. Spend £2 to do 20 grand back. We're seeing that. It does depend on the product. You get some products which are aspirational searches. So someone they search, you go, oh, that looks interesting, and they click into it. I always say with Google Shopping, it's you take your products to market and then you let the environment decide. But what you'll find is if you're already getting a return on ad spend at some level, there'll be products there which are working. And the point is to really accelerate and push forward with those and pull back from the ones which aren't.
What if you was building, why don't you have an e-commerce website yourself selling your own stuff?
This is the question. This is why I've come on your show.
All right. Okay. Well, let me ask you this then. If you were selling e-commerce stuff, if you were selling a sector, whether it be fashion, food, I don't know, whatever, and you wanted to get a good return on ad spend, where would David
this is good.
put his money?
Again, it all depends. We've seen at different periods of time, we've seen different ranges of products work.
Well, let's play. Let me give you some rules for long term. So something that I believe
for long term, I think construction tools, equipment, supply. I think that's.
See, I love it. This is brilliant. Construction tools. So this would be like drills, yeah.
Yeah, drill bit.
Why? Why do you say that?
It's a staple. It's there. It's always going to be needed.
Yeah, always needed. And I suppose people then, if they've had a good service, would always come back and they always need more stuff, yeah?
Exactly. And you've got that crossover with trade.
And what would be the average order value on a business like that, do you think?
I don't know. It depends on the product range. But
it's going to be 65 plus, isn't it?
It could be 65 plus, yeah. So they'll be higher. So, yeah, your actual pounds to attract that customer, but also the lifetime value on that customer is going to be bigger.
Yeah. I like that. I didn't think you was going to give me such a... That's what James Sinclair does. I like giving... But that's what people want. Because then I think they're not going to go off and bloody set up a power tools business, but it helps them understand. And then the reason is they go, right, okay, yeah, £65 plus average order value. So if I'm spending £10 on Google to get the customer, I've got a chance of breaking even on my first order, but then they come back regularly. They want other stuff. You do a good service. That was a good answer. I'm impressed with that, David. I like it.
So we got the gig to come see you then, do the pitch?
Well, you've already got that. Yeah, we've already got that.
Brilliant.
No, that's good.
I thought so. I'm giving it a round of applause. I thought it was spectacular.
Yeah.
How to win friends and influence people. You're witnessing a masterclass, people. You're witnessing a masterclass.
So have you, but I mean, my next question, like one of your questions was, I said to you, like, why don't you go and do that? Why don't you set that up?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like sticking in the same lane. And it's always doing what you're good at. And that's the way that I've always been taught. AdLab's 10 years old. Before that, I had 15 years experience of digital marketing, website design, development. So I've always stuck in that lane. But I've seen businesses blow up. I've seen businesses come and go. And I've seen opportunities. But it's...
But you know, like if someone come and saw me and they had an ad agency and they said, this is my own website and this is me doing it, that would make me just want to get them to work for me. Like that would be the thing. That'd be a wow.
So almost do it as a proof of concept.
They've put the money where their mouth is. You know, if I wanted someone to do Amazon consultancy, I'm choosing the person that's selling 10 million quid worth of stuff on Amazon a year.
Yeah, no, granted. And I think it's, and it's a good point. And that's something that, as a business, we've looked at and we've thought, should we be doing it? But then we've always been chase the money, let's go do a project for that person there. And then that spurs on from another project. And so we get a lot of referrals. Most of the business just comes from doing a good job within an industry and that gets passed on to someone else.
So you said I'm just thinking about you as well. I think these digital marketing agency businesses are very hard to sell because David, you are clearly the talent behind this business. You might have some talented team members, but usually agencies are driven by a key talent person that's passionate about the thing, and it's very hard to sell that business because once the talent goes, unless it's massive and they've got really highly expensive people in there, but very hard to sell a marketing agency. But you build an e-commerce business that makes a couple of million profit and it's all got regular customers like that drills business, there'll be people that want to buy that off you, Sunshine.
Yeah, I completely agree. And with our business, I think the end goal really is to grow it to a stage where we're invoicing best part of £200,000 a month. That would then give us 1 million EBITDA. And really to keep then that core nucleus, that core team with us, to have then share options for them. And once we get to that stage, which we've kind of forecast for a further 7 years, then we kind of look at, do we then sell it? Now, I think for us, the value is having a team underneath where it can take me out of the business so it can kind of run.
Do a management buyout. That's what I would do.
Yeah, that's a option. Another one, though, having some good contracts. I mean, we're already approached by one of the largest e-commerce agencies. They look to purchase us, but they're very keen, I think, on kind of stripping the business of the contracts and using us as kind of a sales team just north of London. But it's having those options, management buyout, even then just sort of sitting there and being a chairman. I think there is a bit of a...
Very tax efficient as well. If you sell to your staff, you pay no tax on that.
How's that?
Well, it's just what it is.
But as you said,
employee ownership scheme. It's or EOT, employee ownership trust. If your staff buy you out and give you the money, you pay no tax on it.
Okay, interesting. Well, yeah, we'll have a look at that.
He's out. That's it. No,
done. He ain't coming to that pitch. He's sold. He's gone.
Yeah, EOTs
Tomorrow morning, team, I've got something to tell you.
Yeah, no, EOTs are really good, and you can do partial. You know, you can stay.
What would you do? Would you borrow the money against the business?
Well, no, the team borrow the money.
The team, so basically the business is then taking out a big loan, and they service that loan.
Yeah, but banks love it. Because they know that you care about your team. Banks like management buyouts. This is a management buyout, but in a tax efficient way for you. And you might say, well, look, I'm going to sell the business for £3 million. The bank put in £1.5 million. You take your £1.5 million over 10 years. And then you just take that as salary, but you pay no tax on your salary then.
Good. Yeah. So it creates options. I think for me personally,
what a thing to do as well. What a thing to do as well. Like sell to your team. I mean, just like you can create them massive ownership feeling in the business. It'll go on forever. It's pretty similar to how accountants and solicitors work. You know, they always create partners so that everything continues.
Yeah, absolutely. So, no, I appreciate that. And I think where we are right now, so we're 10 years into the business. I personally love it. I love helping other businesses to sell more products online. It's what I get kicks out of. And I've got a good team, and I'm building a good team. And I really enjoy as well working with talented people and bringing in different types of people as well for different projects. Age-wise, I'm 37 years old. So I think realistically, another sort of 15, 20 years tops. And then we'll kind of see where we are and maybe take a back seat. I've got a couple of young kids. Maybe one of them wants to come into it, but I don't know. That's all speculation. They just got to follow what they're passionate about. This is what I was passionate about. It's completely different to what my family do. They build houses all over Essex and the southeast. So it's just sort of following that sort of journey and just enjoying it, and appreciate the opportunities. Appreciate being on calls like this.
There you go. Right. Well, so have you got some questions you'd like to ask us? I think that's what we should do next, don't you, JB?
Yeah, I've just downloaded some of your questions. So, oh, this is a good one. So how can AdLab effectively utilise its current cash reserves to establish partnerships with product designers and maximise its expertise in online sales using e-commerce, web design, Amazon marketing, paid search and social, SEO and email marketing? Is that kind of what you were talking about there? Actually, like go out and do the do?
Well, I think you said you've got, this is the oxymoron, though. I think you've got healthy cash balance in the bank. You could go and build a website and then sell it. And I don't think what's holding you back. I mean, what a testimonial to say how good your business is if you've actually done it and
document the whole thing, like your YouTube team around the table, like how we're going to choose the sector, how we're going to choose the niche, who's doing the design. That could be an amazing
all the ones, because one of your challenges, client acquisition, slow sales growth, and then challenge 3 is finding skilled account managers. I think you would tick all those 3 boxes
100%.
because everyone that's in this digital marketing space would want to watch that on YouTube. So you'd have a really good recruitment tool. It would mean that businesses would see how successful you are and they'd be crawling all over you to try and work with you. And then it would turn it around from you being deciding who you works with. You'd be like Rolex. Well, I'm afraid you can't buy from us.
Come on our waiting list. We're not looking for any client partners right now. We'll let you know when we are.
And I think
I'd watch that. I'd love to watch that.
And then the question that I would say to you is, David, does content work? Well, my content made your business bigger than ever, didn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, your content leveled us up.
And that was mine, not yours.
And it's a good point. And, it's something that, so after that previous call that I'd done with yourself, kind of set the goal of every quarter to try and get onto a podcast. Done a few of them, didn't get the same response. And I think then kind of came back, but didn't really keep pushing it. And I think also with the opportunities that were already given to us purely off the back of our case studies and just people knowing us within the industry, I just chased the money and I push on the projects and do what I love, which is building beautiful websites and selling more products online. So.
Yeah, I see you doing another advert there, just to make sure you got that in. No, I mean, the thing is, David, like the reason you would have got the calls off of my podcast is because, in a weird way, I think our podcast, we don't allow people to sell, and they slightly feel sorry for you because James Sinclair's had a go at you. But if you're genuinely good, because you're being asked quite hard questions by me, and that.
Yeah, you know your stuff, don't you?
If you know your stuff,
yeah,
you can't wriggle out of it. Like when I, asked you like what actual sector would you go into, and you went drills, and and
here's why.
That's someone that understands the sector, and that's why you're going to get a chance to pitch to my team. I'll actually be there as well, David.
Superb. And I look forward to it.
I'll be one of the 4.
The third question you asked also, I think, ties into this scaling up growth model. So would you advise acquiring other agencies as a strategy for accelerating growth? If so, what steps should be taken to pursue this approach, and what are the primary pitfalls to be mindful of? Would you be buying other stuff?
If I was David, I would be buying e-commerce websites that are doing okay, and you could see how you can make them 10 times better overnight.
And just document the whole thing. As a content play.
Why do you want to buy other agencies? You don't know who you're getting. You could be getting a load of... Yeah, you want to be buying a business, an e-commerce business that's doing 3 million in sales a year, and I know how I can get this to 10 million without even trying. That's what you're doing it.
Where do you find these businesses, James?
Well, where did you find all them amazing clients that have £75 million plus turnover? Through my connections, I suppose, was that?
Well, that's it. Okay.
No, but where do you find them?
I suppose, find the business.
You have to bloody put some effort in.
Doors,
I mean, we need another accounts person in my team. And I think this is a useful analogy. We need another senior accounts person. We've got Leah, who's like my FD, and we need 2 FDs really for all the bits and bobs we're doing. And I said to them, and we keep talking about it, and I said, and they said, we haven't found anyone yet. I said, well, what have we actually done other than just ask the universe? What do you think they're just going to knock on the door and go, hey, I'm that dream FD that you need? Hello,
I love cookies and I love farm parks.
So we've got to proactively pick up the phone, get recruitment agencies, put job ads out there, all the obvious stuff. If we want to buy e-commerce websites, we go to business agents and we say, these are my criteria that I'm looking for. A business that's doing, a couple of million plus in revenue, is, or you identify them and write them letters.
It's good. Yeah, no, and I appreciate that advice. And for us, it's definitely, the proof is in the pudding, and it definitely is another sort of arm to us to show that. I mean, we've had it with businesses. That business which I mentioned, which they get a 14-to-1 return. We're spending 20 grand to do 280.
Can I actually, David? I'm just going to stop out. It actually annoys me that you're not doing it. I'm actually getting crossed by it. Just stop and listen to me. Like, why are you worried about? You've got a really successful, obviously talented team, and you know what you're doing. Like building an agency, a marketing agency, will only get you so far. You might do 2-3 million turnover. You make $1 million of EBIT. I think all that's possible. Yeah. But you could go and buy an e-commerce website business, probably for not very much money, and then quadruple it in size, and people will be queuing up to buy it off of you.
It is something.
I'll be honest. If I had your skill set,
I've got, we've got 10 of us sitting there, and I'm thinking, we've got the machine here with our expertise where we could fold in these businesses. And then all of a sudden the phone rings and it's like a national company with bricks and mortar stores, and they want to go online and they want to sell products and they've got a big budget. We're like, okay, let's go do that. That's what's then stopping us. But it shouldn't. And I'm trying to pull myself out. And I do other things as well.
You need to do that too. Do that too. But just go do that too, but just go and buy a e-commerce website, but that's sleepy, that exactly, the list of 10 things that you're going to do straight away to 10 times it in size, and it'll be easy to do.
I was talking to an accountancy firm, a specialist accountancy firm, about doing their podcast. They called it VASK, AVASK, and they solely specialise in e-commerce businesses. That's all they do. So I'd be reaching out to people like that who are the tax and the accountancy specialists.
Oh, that's very good.
And let them know what you're planning on doing, that you're in the market to buy. Good. And they're either going to send you clients who are doing fantastically well, or those clients that are, having a struggle and they need support. I would, because then you can make one phone call and they could potentially be able to send you 20 leads at a time rather than doing one at a time.
Yeah, or you just go on Google and you type in businesses within the sector that you want to operate out of, and then you just send them an email or even a letter.
Yeah.
But James's idea is very good. I mean, that completely now gets him over the hill with that awful jumper he's wearing. He's redeemed himself. You'll see when this comes out.
It's so spiteful. So spiteful.
But it's definitely it's been something that we're sitting there and we're thinking, guys, we should be doing this. And I think I totally appreciate from a sellable point of view, to actually build a business like that, then it's easier to offload.
Well, what's great about you could offload that business, and this is where it gets really exciting. And you go, and we'll give you a 5-year marketing contract to make sure everything carries on as it is, and then they carry on paying you. They're giving you a capital sum for the business.
Oh, nice.
And then they're paying you.
And then
for
your client.
Oh, lovely. Oh, it bloody excites me. It's like when people...
the commercial space as well, which you've got the products in, do the fulfillment
from. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. When people, sell a business and keep the freehold, I mean, that's the ultimate. That's the ultimate deal, isn't it?
And that's it. So, again, thank you for your time. And it's basically having that strategic alliance, actually, spending time with people like yourselves to kind of open those ideas.
David, have you even come to any of my seminars ever?
I need to, and I want to.
Oh, David, I think he's taking the piss now. I'm sorry.
He
I'm
said
sorry.
to me,
he said to me
on the pre-chat.
They can't even come and do
That's
a
more
fake.
than that. He said, since coming on your podcast, I managed to get a brand new electric car. I've got billions in the bank. I bought a new house.
9 members of my team.
No, I mean you should come to one of my seminars. I think
you should go to the masterclass at the end of the year. That would be a brilliant one for David.
Yeah, there's
do you not do a buying businesses one?
Yeah, but I think you should go to business masterclass. That's the one I think you should go to, because annoyingly,
so that's the heaviest ticket.
No, it's not actually. No, poo jumper. It's not. It's £299. But for him,
I can't.
For him, there'll be really good people in the room, and you can have a stand there as well. Actually, that is more money. And then you probably
I landed my biggest ever client from that.
There you go.
James Sinclair's like a charity today, guys. He's just handing out crumbs from the top of his ivory tower.
Everyone does well out of the content, but moi. Oh, there we go. Well, hopefully, if I die, make sure you turn up to the funeral at least, David.
I'll say lovely things about you.
Yeah.
I'll do a eulogy with jingles and everything. David, if someone's an e-commerce business that are looking to sell, they're thinking this is the guy to either help me with my marketing, or do you know what, I'm tired, I'm a woofty and I want to just go and enjoy my retirement, I want to get rid of the damn thing, where can they get in contact with you, mate?
Yeah, so
info@jamesinclair.net. I want to have a
for an affiliate link.
Where'd they go?
There'll be a cutback. It's website is adlab.co.uk. So it's adlab.co.uk, and our my personal email is david@adlab.co.uk. But yeah, if you go on to AdLab, just search in AdLab, ADLAB, and you'll find us with all our information. Drop me a message. I'll give you a call back. We'll jump on the Teams. If you're in the southeast area, I'll jump in the car. I'll come up and see you, and we'll take it from there.
And that's David Newman, everyone, the most profitable person that's ever come on this podcast. Thanks very much for being on, David.
Brilliant. Thanks, James and James. I really do appreciate it. I genuinely do. And yeah, I'm going to start knocking on those doors. I'm going to start thinking about those businesses and actually how could we go about finding them and then acquiring them, and what we could actually do with them. So No, I really do appreciate it, because I definitely do see with the digital agency, it's a hugely competitive space. I mean, if you're good, you'll excel in it, but it's hugely competitive, and the growth is slow, and especially as you start getting bigger. And you're absolutely right. When you're looking to acquire other businesses, you're actually acquiring talent. And if that talent goes with acquisition, then what have you got? You've got a few contracts, which they can typically walk with that person as well or go elsewhere. So
Absolutely.
I totally get it.
Do you know what I'd like to do, David? We have got the live version of the podcast on June the 10th. I would love...
David won't come, so he doesn't give us any money.
No, he doesn't give us anything back. He could be...
Take. No giving out.
You've been sitting there on this idea for a little while with a team of very, very established, bright people who can go and execute this. Do you think that you can buy an e-commerce business by the 10th of June and come on stage and tell the audience?
Be tight, but we can look into it.
Keep us posted then.
Mm-hmm.
Keep us posted.
Yeah. See your business masterclass in September, though. You should go to that. You might even get a shout out from the stage, and then everyone will come and talk to you.
Oh, yeah.
So we just give you even more money. It's a very one-way street. This annoys me. Joke. Thanks for being on, mate. To your continued success. Cheers.
Nice one.
Thanks, guys.
What a great guy. He's done well, hasn't he?
I'm very, very fascinated how these people are managing to smash e-commerce, and that 14 to 1 thing. I just think it's worth reiterating. That is unicorn status. But he said regularly he's getting 10 to 1. So
he's doing good, isn't he? He's doing good. And we need to rate him.
Yeah, let's rate him.
Let's rate him.
I reckon we might have a...
I think we could have a winner here, couldn't we?
Okay, guys.
Oh, no, you go for it.
If you're a regular listener to this podcast, we now rate our guests once they've gone, so we can say what we really like about them.
Exactly. He's gone and kicked him out of the room.
8 traits of great entrepreneurs is what we call this little rating. There's 8 traits of the greats. 8 traits of the greats. Trait number 1 is starting with the end in mind.
I think he has.
Do you think?
You're gonna be harsh.
Number 2, passionate about their cause. Yes.
Yeah.
Untold amounts of resilience. Do we know that?
We don't know that.
Half a point.
Half.
They master relationships with people.
He knows how to take quids out of people's pockets,
Yeah,
doesn't he?
he does,
He's mastered relationships with your audience.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
He can have that.
Number 5, commercial awareness. I do believe he's got half a point for that, because but he just wants to do small sale stuff, doesn't it? Oh, buy another agency. But really what he should be doing is building a bloody website that makes millions of pounds.
Fine, okay. He can have half.
They innovate so don't evaporate. I'll give him that. I do think he does know what he's doing. To keep those clients. He's a master marketeer. Well, I think
Clearly.
he is, yeah.
Quite clearly.
And he does stay teachable and curious. So he done well there, didn't he?
He's like, guys, I can't believe it. Get excited. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points out of 8. David from AdLab flies up the leaderboard. He eclipses Gemma from Gut Health. He leaves Cole from First Response in the dust, and Dave from Fast Fix don't know what day of the week it is. He's gone straight to the top of the leaderboard. Dave from AdLab, not only has he had £250,000 out this podcast, he's now top of the leaderboard.
No, I think he's had more than £250,000.
Unbelievable.
He didn't even give us 10%.
I love the fact this goes back to your bigger thinking though. You know when someone goes, I'll give you a drink, I'll sort you out a drink. I love the fact in your world a drink's 20 grand. Yeah. He hasn't even sent me 20 grand. Can't believe it, can you?
Well, I do think I think
that would be such good content.
If I said to him at the start, I said, look, if I land you these clients, would you give me 20 grand? He would say, yes, absolutely.
You should put this as like a tick box. When they say, I confirm I'm coming on in the small print, size 0.5,
Yeah.
any sales that you get, James Sinclair gets a drink out of it.
And do you know, if he did send me a £20,000 check,
here we go.
Daniel Precy, he came to my event and he sent me a Mont Blanc pen afterwards.
Did he?
Yeah, he's very clever at stuff like this. He sent me a Mont Blanc pen afterwards. I mean, I must have mentioned this Mont Blanc story pen to many people. The cost of that Mont Blanc has been quite valuable for him. In terms of
clever tactic, though,
PR.
isn't it?
If he sent me £20,000, I'll definitely mention him on a podcast again.
Yeah, and he'll get a return on his money. We know that he'll get a 10x return.
He already has.
To be fair, that idea about doing,
I'm joking, by the way.
He's half joking.
It's got to be 50,000.
That content idea, Take a website, build a brand, make a website, and then actually show it. That would be such good content.
So many marketing agencies that have been on the pod.
Yeah.
I always tell them the same thing. Go and bloody do it.
You
will have so many people want to give you money.
That is,
if you're trying testing and
that's
improving.
something that we're looking at doing now. Is another in-house podcast that's about podcasting.
Yeah, but you're doing this and you're doing business marriage podcasts.
Yeah, but one about the sector of podcasting. So there's a couple out
so
there.
Like the rest is entertainment, but the rest is podcast.
Yeah. I should start the rest is podcast. That'll annoy Gary Lineker.
Yeah. Or you could do it for Gary.
Yeah, but I'd rather annoy him.
Yeah. Mm.
Okay. You're not a bright young thing. You're definitely
I think I'm a middle-aged.
You're a
now.
BMT. You're a bright middle-aged thing.
Wait, what is middle-aged? 40?
40, I guess. Yeah.
Well, I'm not 40. I'm 38.
So what are you then? Still a
young thing.
Oh, you bollocks! Right. Okay. Do we need to sell anything else? I know that David's pretty much.
David's left
would
like
scraps.
to come. Well, there's two things. If you'd like to come on the podcast, because we don't tell anyone, I think that people just realise how this happens is by magic. If you would like to come on this podcast and have a chat with us about growing your business, just see what's happened to David. We don't want people to come on here just to promote their stuff. That's not what this is about. But, if you're good and people like you, then that's what's going to happen, isn't it? But you can come along. It's free. You go to my website, jamessinclair.net, and then you click on podcast.
Yep.
And then there's an application form. You fill in the application form, and then we will try and get you on. There is a wait, but as soon as we can get you on, if we feel like you're really challenged and you really need our help, we try and push you to the top of the tree, if you like. But we would love to get you on the show. It's completely free to come on. We just ask you to be open and honest about where you're at in business. Tell us about your numbers. It helps more the listeners more than you know. The tens of thousands of people that listen. It's a real big metaphorical cuddle to the listeners and viewers of this here podcast. So jamessinclair.net. And whilst you're there, if you would like to have a look at some of our other things that we do, like our events, we've got the podcast live, and then we've got all the seminars as well. And the main one is Business Masterclass. There's a big 2-day event in London.
It's very good. I was there last year. It's very good.
That's where people should start with. You should come along to Business Masterclass, 2 days with me on stage, teaching you all the stuff that I know about growing companies, building companies, raising finance, making your teams and your businesses as profitable as it can be, getting your business ready for sale, how to buy companies. It's 2 full-on days. And it comes with a money-back guarantee, JB, that if people don't get at least 10 times value for their ticket by the end of day one, we'll give you your money back. That's how sure we are. Tickets are only a few £100. I think you can get a ticket for £300 for 2 days in London.
Yeah.
Big, massive room and great
it's
people.
No like sleazy, smarmy sales stuff.
No sales from the stage.
There's none of that sort of stuff. I've been there and I exhibited. Did I exhibit the first time?
No, you keynoted the first time.
Yeah, and I exhibited the second time. And what I found there is and this is not a knock on other events, but there's just a different echelon of people that come to your stuff. They are established business owners. I think the average was, 70% of the room had a business that was already doing more than £1 million. They're actually doing stuff.
Yeah,
so if you're looking for startup inspiration, this might not be for you.
No,
this is
not a side hustle show. No. This is for people that are serious about entrepreneurship, serious about making, well, let's just say it, making money and wealth, and and you want to be around good people, not people that are solopreneurs. It's not a solopreneur event. This is for entrepreneurs.
Are you doing the investor panel again?
Yeah, we do the funding panel.
Funding panel, that was brilliant last time around.
Investec, Coots, Barclays, HSBC, all on a stage.
And they're literally talking about what they will fund, why they'll fund it.
Live in the room.
Yeah, people in the room can actually pitch and say, would they get it or not? And you've got your broker guy.
Yeah.
Well, Barclays wouldn't take on this one, but I know someone who would, but you'd have to frame it like this. It's really, really tactical. Anyway, go and check that out. JamesSinclair.net for all that information. Other than that, cheers for your ears. See you on the next pod.
See you in the next one. Thanks for watching today, gang. I hope you enjoyed the show. Now, look, we're looking for some great businesses to come on the podcast. If you've got challenges, but you're desperate to grow your business and you can't necessarily work out how to do it on your own, you'll be a perfect candidate to come here on the podcast. It's absolutely free to come on the show. Go to my website, jamessinclair.net, and there's a podcast button. Click on the podcast button, fill in the application form, and we'll do our very best to get you on the show and try and grow your business. If you're loving the podcast, make sure you subscribe to the channel by clicking here. And why not give this one a watch? I think you'll like it.